Testing, testing. JB here, JB here. Give me 1 second. JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. May 23rd, 2024. We have 1 hour to the close. I actually did my rant this morning and had some technical issues similar to this yesterday afternoon. So I do apologize. Talk really quick about the markets, some of the names I'm in, some of the names I'm looking at, and go from there. But take a look at the SPY, and you can look at the S&P giving back the gains from the last couple sessions, and sell the news, I guess, from the video earnings. Seems more likely than not, and we'll have to see how the market reacts tomorrow. We have the long holiday weekend, so have some. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of headlines over this weekend about where the market is UPB would talk about it last couple of years. Used to have some Doug Cast, which not that I someone I used to I someone I there's people over the years that I wouldn't say you go to respect, but they post things or have headlines or articles, and you read it and you say, oh, that's Doug Cast. So Doug Cast, back in the day when Alibaba IPO'd on the US markets, Alibaba soared, market soared, and he called it the Alibaba top. And then markets sold off for a little bit, and then they're thousands of percent higher than where they were when Alibaba IPO'd. So I'm not saying a similar situation here with Nvidia, but just monster earnings from Nvidia. Like I said on the watch list this morning, you could not paint a prettier picture of Nvidia earnings into yesterday afternoon. And then the CEO's, he's a very exuberant person, able to clear, well, not, I wouldn't say clearly, but he get folks excited about the future, and that's great. In my opinion, you have children, you want to be excited about the future. So I think that's all that's great. We'll see what the market does here. The SPY is under the lows from yesterday. It's just not a good sign, but we'll have to see how things pan out here. Excuse me. 518.50 or so on the SPY from the previous week. If there's weakness today into tomorrow, maybe that's a spot that we find some support. But I'm not sitting here and throwing in, I'm not gonna throw in the cards. I think 535, 540 at least on the SPY is the more probable outcome in the coming days. So some names. So I always talk about, well, not always, but ABH, right? Always be hedging. I looked at MDB puts. I got some of those right at the open, just because snow reversed its opening highs. So I'm like, oh, cloud space. It seems like the cloud names they've been struggling, right? So even big beats and raises, the names reverse. So snow reversed. I figured MDB would be a good sympathy play. Hold some puts on that, and then Broadcom. So it's one of my favorite. I wouldn't say favorite, but it's one of the names I look for to get some hedge puts on. So lock some in already for some nice profits. Have a couple left. I'll probably hold them into tomorrow. You look at the chart, and it's a huge candle. 1429 was the high. 1379 was the low, and you start to think if there's some pressure tomorrow. Maybe it's 1330, 1320 and below. So we'll have to see how that all plays out, but I'll just continue to hold those as kind of hedges, because I think if especially where we're at, it's good to have at least some positions that will offset some losses if we do have some pullbacks. So that's MDB, GPCR. So I posted this morning on watch list as well. They'll have it's the most. I would say it's the most, because Roche just had their data, but they're the next piece of data that comes out, and they'll have data out before the end of June. And I recent IPO, when I say recent, within the last 18 months, I think it heads 50, $60. I think it has good data. Um, good data 55, 60. Great data 65, 70 and beyond. So take a look at it. It's up 7.5% today, and that's despite J.P. Morgan. They had their great analyst upgrade. Stocks kind of sold off the highs, still closed in the green. So I think it's a good sign here. It's trading to the upside. I'm trying to think of some of the other names I'm looking at. Of course, Turns Pharmaceuticals One of my other names that I look in the GLP-1 space, not going to talk too much about that. ENVX is down almost 11% today on no news, no catalyst. And I be I try not to be too sarcastic, but I kind of I put on FinTwit saying, "Oh, it's because they were not mentioned on the Nvidia conference call or webcast." But if you follow the bulls on ENVX, you would think this is the next big thing. Oh, Samsung, Apple, Nvidia. It's the next Nvidia. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we'll see. We'll have to see how this all plays out. But I'll continue to hold my positions. At some point, I'll have some kind of webinar. Probably not tomorrow, but over the weekend. I have probably 3-piece webinar. Some folks have already done some really good work on the MVX. And, like I've been saying over the last couple of days, it's like the meat has already been somewhat been taken off the bone. So to make big money on the MVX puts, I would have, maybe it's 20 or 30 bucks. It's sitting here at 939. So maybe I'll make 50%, 100%, 200%, as opposed to, a substantial multi-bagger. So that's the MDX. Some of the other names I'm looking at, unfortunately, IIPR down here 107.49, down 3% today. Frustrating. Sitting, 3 days ago, my June strikes are up near 100%. Now it's now when I'm in a situation, do I lock those in? Wait, then add to July. So I'll probably wait till tomorrow. That's IIPR, and I think that's it, folks. Uh, Apologize. Yesterday afternoon's rant, I couldn't find it. Then this morning, some issues with the media. Hopefully this this works, and then I'll be back on track into tomorrow. Let's have a great day, folks. Rock and roll.